Over September 20, 6 people were killed and 20 injured in Donetsk region as a result of bombardments by the Russian army, said Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration. 2 people were killed in Bakhmut and 1 in each of the following municipalities: Turetsk, Druzhba, Georgiivka and Velika Novosilka. From the beginning of the Russian invasion, 862 people have been killed and 2,193 wounded in Donetsk region. It is currently impossible to determine the accurate number of victims in Mariupol and Volnovakha. On the night of September 21, the Russian military shelled Kurakhove. The missile hit a residential house. It is estimated that 12 people were wounded, including 2 children, said Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration. 1 more person can be blocked under the debris. The emergency service continues the search and rescue operation, he noted. The Russians also barraged such villages in Volnovasky district as Vilnepole, Burlatske and Novoukrayinka. Information about destruction and victims is being clarified. Strikes were carried out on Bakhmut and Siversk in Bakhmutsky district. In Bakhmut, a football ground is destroyed. In Siversk, we are still investigating the consequences. In the morning, Turetsk was struck by artillery. An administrative building was damaged. No civilian victims, Mr. Kyrylenko added. On the night of September 21, the Russian armed forces pummeled Zaporizhzhia NPP. As a result, at 1:13 a.m., the communication equipment with outdoor switchgear was damaged at Reactor Unit 6, Energoatom National Nuclear Energy Generating Company posted on Telegram. The post says that the armed attack caused an outage of the unit transformer serving the unit's internal needs. Due to the power cut, 2 emergency system diesel generators were launched to ensure the functioning of the fuel cooling pumps, Energoatom informed. They also added that 2 a.m. the NPP staff managed to arrange the power for Unit 6 internal needs from the bus system of other reactor units at the plant. Diesel generators in Unit 6 were shut down and set to the standby mode. On the night of September 21, the Russian military launched rocket attacks on Holodnohirsky district of Kharkiv, damaging apartment buildings. Rescuers pulled 10 people from the rubble of one of them. 1 person was injured at another address. Mayor Igor Terehov announced this in the morning of September 21. Consequences of the night shelling in Holodnohirsky district. In the house where the residents were blocked, our emergency service rescued 10 people. We thank them. At another address, 1 was injured. In both houses, the roofs, upper floors of residential buildings and staircases were destroyed, he noted. A series of explosions rang out in the city around 1:50 a.m. At the time, there was an air raid alert in Kharkiv and the region. According to the preliminary conclusion of experts, the Russian Federation fired on Kharkiv from the Tornado S multiple rocket launchers, reports the correspondent of Suspilne. Valentin Reznichenko, the head of Regional Military Administration, announced that on the night of September 21, Russian troops shelled 2 districts of Dnipropetrovsk region, namely Nikopolsk and Kryvyi, with heavy artillery, and a 56-year-old man was injured. According to Mr. Reznichenko, Russian troops shelled Nikopol twice. 30 shells flew there. In the city, more than 20 high-rise buildings and private houses, cars, gas pipelines and power lines were damaged. A local bakery, a kindergarten, a library and several shops were mutilated. As a result of the shelling, fires broke out in the apartment and in the private yard. In Kryvyi district, Zelenodolska Hromada was shelled late in the evening. People were unharmed. Several private houses were damaged in Velika Kostromka. 350 families were left without electricity. An ambulatory was damaged and window panes in the homes of local residents were broken. On September 20, the Russian military shelled the village of Yunakivka in Sumy region. Dmytro Zhivitsky, the head of Sumy Regional Military Administration, announced this in his telegram. Russian shells hit in the middle of the streets of the village and in the towns. More than 10 explosions were counted in total. Fragments of explosives damaged the power line. The power supply was restored. In 2 houses, all the windows were broken. A goat was killed near one of the households. Windows in Yunakivka ambulatory were also broken by projectile fragments. The Russians shelled the village of Obody in Bilopilla Hromada. In the village, houses of civilians were damaged, windows were broken and walls were destroyed. This was announced by Dnipropetrovsk, the head of the Sumy Regional Military Administration. Soldiers of the Russian Federation shelled the border village of Obody with mortars. In total, the military recorded 10 explosions. At least 5 houses of civilians were damaged. Their windows were broken, walls were destroyed. Dmytro, the head of Sumy military administration, reported that on September 20, during the day, the Russian military shelled 7 hromadas of Sumy region. Almost 170 hits were recorded from mortars, barrel artillery, grenade launchers, MLRS, as well as 5 machine gun bursts. Шалигине, Велика Писарівка, Нова Слобода, Юнаківка, Esman, Krasnopilla and Bilopilla hromadas were shelled. Residential and non-residential buildings were damaged. Domestic animals died. A hand with a yellow-blue bracelet. This photo became a symbol of the genocide of Ukrainians by Russian troops. The photo became famous in social networks after the deoccupation of Izium. This is the hand of Serhiy Sova from Nikopol, a soldier of the 93rd Brigade. His wife Oksana recognized him from photos she saw on the internet. The first photos were with the bracelet, then there were photos with the body. I recognized my husband by his numerous tattoos. He loved tattoos. He made them. There were many on his body. Even a tattoo with our daughter's name was preserved. Serhiy fought since 2014, served in the 93rd Brigade, passed Pisky, Donetsk airport, etc. At the beginning of the full-scale invasion, he defended Chernihiv region. His comrades at that time were transferred to the Kharkiv direction. Of course, he couldn't be without his guys, without his native brigade, and he got his commanders to transfer him to his guys. Oksana says that they kept in touch with her husband for several months, but he disappeared in mid-April. On April 19, we had our last call early in the morning. For a couple of minutes he was able to get in touch with me, and on April 19 he was considered missing after the battle, as the brigade informed me that at 8 o'clock we contacted each other and at 10 a battle took place, and after the battle the fighter was not found at the positions. This month, the woman says, they were looking for her husband, hoping for capture or injury. His life was cut short, and so is mine. There are no words to describe these emotions. My husband is subject to identification. Of course, there will be a DNA examination. It will simply confirm the match with our son. But since the body is subject to identification, I hope that we will soon go to Kharkiv and take away my husband. This appeal to Volodymyr Zelensky was written by the 14-year-old son of Serhiy and Oksana. In it, he asks to reward his father posthumously and points out that the hand in the photo is a symbol of an indomitable and courageous Ukrainian warrior. No matter what, they stand to the end. As my husband said, I will not give up a single meter for our land. I will not retreat a single step back, because what are our guys dying for? My comrades, what do we stand for then? To retreat back? And so it turned out he kept his word, did not back down, he stayed there. At such a price, the price of his life, but he did not back down. Oksana does not yet know when Serhiy will be buried. As a reminder, after the deoccupation of Izium, mass burials of local residents and military personnel were found in the forest. As of the evening of September 19, 450 graves were discovered. About 150 bodies with signs of torture have already been exhumed. There are no numbers or surnames on the graves. The exhumation of the bodies continues.